Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's tutorial is about how to make this corporate dress with a wing. If it is what you like to learn, stay tuned to the end. Okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel. To those that have subscribed, that have been following me since, I really appreciate. And if you are new to this channel, please do well by subscribing, hit the like button and comment. It actually won't cost you anything. Help this little girl here. Subscribe to the channel. So back to the main business. My pattern paper is on fold. We are using the full sheet here, so it's on fold. I went ahead to draft my pattern. So remember, the style we're working with has extra design at the front part. So for us to achieve that, you determine how lengthy you want that to be. For this particular project, I use 8 inches, so you measure that first. That's the first thing you do before you measure all the necessary parts. You can use anything, let's say 4 inches and above, anything above 4 inches. If you're using anything below 4 inches, it should not bring out the style perfectly. So from 4 inches and above, you're good to go. Then I went ahead to mark my bust point and also my chest line, of which for you to get your chest line, you divide your bust measurement by 6 plus 1.5, or which mine is 7.5. So I went ahead to rule my half length as well. I marked all the necessary parts, then I rule a straight line for all the marked parts. So that being done, I went ahead to label all the necessary parts: the bust line, the chest line, the waist line. Also, after that, I went ahead to measure my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5. And I also drop my shoulder point by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So what I have at the shoulder parts, I measure on the chest line as well, and I rule a straight line. Okay, so from the shoulder slope point to the chest line on the armhole line, I get the midpoint of that line and went in by half an inch. And also the next thing is for me to divide my bust measurement. I divide my bust measurement by 4, and I mark the result on the chest line. And I went ahead to connect all the marked parts to get my armhole curve. So the next thing for me to get my neck measurement, the neck width, of which I use 4 inches for this project. 4 inches. So I mark and I join the neck width to the shoulder slope. Okay, now the next thing for me to get the waist that we're working on that presently. So I'll measure my nipple to nipple or bust span measurement divided by 2, of which my result is 3.75. That's 3¾ Then I add half inches to it, making 4¼ I'll mark the results on the waistline and on the bust line, and also use my ruler to connect. Then on the waist area, I'll mark half an inch on both sides of the line, and on the bust area also I'll drop that point by 1 inch. Then I'll connect all the recent mark parts together. So now the next thing is for us to work on our bust dart or the side dart. So for you to get the accurate measurement or what to work with, you measure your shoulder to waist. You tie a rope around your waist on the navel area around your waist. You measure your shoulder to waist at the front parts across your bust, and for the back also your shoulder to waist. Now you minus the back shoulder to waist from the front shoulder to waist. Then you mark your result from the bust line downward. Hope you understand me. The front shoulder to waist minus the back shoulder to waist. Your result you mark from the bust line downward. So after that being done, I went ahead to divide my bust measurement by 4, which is 9 inches. My bust measurement is 36 divided by 4, making 9 inches plus 2 inches allowance. I mark that on the bust line. Mark that on the bust line. I also directly under where my measurement is, I mark my bust dart. Then from the bust point, which is the area where the waist dart meets the bust line, I come in by 1 inch. Then I connect that point, that 1 inch, to the bust dart area. So with this, bust dart is ready. So I went ahead to divide my waist measurement by 4, which is 7.5, and I mark what I have at the waist dart area, which is 1 inch. I add that to the measurement plus 2 inches allowance. So automatically we are adding 3 inches extra to the waist area. So I connect all the marked parts. So back to the upper part of this dress. What we have at the neck area, the wideness of our neck, which was we measure 4 inches, if you remember. You will measure same thing at the upper part of the paper. Then you connect with your ruler. So after that is being done, the next thing is for us to cut out the paper. Remember, our pattern paper is on fold, so the next thing for me to do is to transfer what I have on this side to the other side of the paper. So I'll be using my tracing wheel to make it easier, and if you don't have your tracing wheel, you can as well just use your ruler and tape roll and pencil to trace it out. So the next thing is for me to open up my pattern just like this and connect the wing edge, that is the top part, to meet the shoulder part. So after that, I'll cut out the other parts. We don't need that part. So with this, our front pattern is ready. Then I'll keep this aside and work with the back. So yeah, I have the back almost ready. I went ahead to draft out what I did for the front part, which is my chest line, my waist line, my bust line. So the difference between the front and the back is just the neckline. So the neckline for this, we don't need to add extra as we did for the front part. So I did same 4 inches wideness, and I drop it that like the depth by 1.5. Yes, I did 2 inches. Then I connect the mark part. And I label my zip area also. Then I label the necessary part, the bust, waist, and the chest part. And for the zipper area on the waistline, you go up by 1 inch. You go up by 1 inch. This method just helps our zip to be properly laid, so we won't be having that folding at the back and the zipper area. So you connect slantly back to your waistline from that 1 inch. So now the next thing for me to cut out my pattern. So I went ahead to cut my fabric with the pattern paper. So the next thing now is for me to transfer my dart to my fabric. So you watch carefully. I'll use my pin to transfer the dart to the fabric. So I went ahead to notch the bust dart just a little. Also, I'll do the same at the tip of the waist dart. I'm doing that round on the waist dart, both darts. I'll notch it. I also notch the side dart, and I'll flip my fabric over and trace out with my chalk and ruler. The pin only helped me know where my dart start from, and the notching helped me know where it ends. At this point, if you have not subscribed, please, this is just a reminder for you to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button, like and share. Also turn on the notification bell, so when I post, you'll be the first to see it. Thank you. So I went ahead to cut the facing. I also add my interfacing on the facing of the dress. I doubled my interfacing so as to give it that thick effect. So yeah, I try to notch the shoulder part on the fabric so as to make my sewing easy, and also make me identify where to stop and where to start from. So after the notch part, the next thing for me to determine how deep I want my neck part to be, of which from this point, this other side of the shoulder, I measured 8 inches. I'm doing this on my pattern paper so you can understand. From this point, I measured 8 inches. You can make yours deeper than this. It all depends on what you want. So I measured 8 inches Just watch closely and see what I'm about to do. I will transfer this also to my fabric, that is to the facing. Yeah. So after rolling the straight line, I'll take this to my machine and start my stitching from that shoulder area round to meet the other shoulder area. Watch the direction of my finger. From those points, I'm coming down, then taking that up to meet the other shoulder point. That is where I'll stop. So this is what it looks like after stitching. So I went ahead to remove all my pin. You have to pin before you stitch so as to avoid the fabric from moving up and down. Then if you notice, I didn't open up this part before stitching. You have to stitch that area first before you open the slitted part. So I went ahead to open it up and cut out some excess so as to make my dress lay properly. So I'll bring it inside out this way. So this is what we have at this point. I'll go ahead and iron. Also, I'll stitch my dart area, then I'll bring it back for you to see. So this is what it looks like after ironing. You can see I've ironed that cape area and it's looking beautiful. Also, I've stitched my dart area and I went ahead to iron. The next thing also is for me to I've joined the back also. I've taken my dart also, and also the facing. I've stitched the facing, leaving the zipper part. I didn't stitch up to the zipper part. So now the next thing for me to join the shoulder of the front and of the back together. So I'll go ahead and stitch the shoulder part, and also I will take my measurements on the seam allowance. I'll stitch that part also. Then we'll proceed to the flay part. So after take note the shoulder part, then I'll stitch my seam part. Then we'll proceed to the flay area. So after doing the upper part, the next thing is for us to proceed with the lower part of the dress, of which I'll be starting with the skirt area. So I went ahead to take the length measurement, of which I used 27 altogether with the sewing allowance, which means 26 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I went ahead to mark that. Remember, my fabric is on fold. I'm cutting the front part first. So I went ahead to mark the length. Also, the next thing was for me to take the hip measurement, hip line. So I measure 8 inches for the hip line. From there I measure inches downward also. This will make the hip part fit properly. So I measure my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches for seam allowance. So on the waist area I measure my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches also for the sewing allowance. So for the knee area, whatsoever you have at the hip side, take it down minus 1. You understand? The total I have for that area is 10.5 plus 2 inches allowance. That's 12.5. So I minus 1 inches. That's 11.5, and I mark that on the knee area. Then I connect everything, and I went ahead to cut my front piece. So the next thing after this is for me to use this to cut the back piece. The difference between the front and the back is just the zip allowance. So I went ahead to add my zip allowance, of which I used 2 inches for the zipper area, and I went ahead to cut. So that's the only thing for the back. So remember, on the upper part of the back piece, we went up, or the zipper area, we went up by 1 inch. We are doing the same here. We are going down by 1 inch from the waist side. Then we'll connect with a straight line back to the waistline. From that 1 inch, we'll connect slantly back to the waistline. This is to help the zip lay properly. With this, your zip will be perfectly laid. Try to fold and bias with the bias this way. I divide my waist measurement divided by 6.25 times 4, which give me 19. At this point I'll go ahead and mark. I'm making it of 9 inches. 9 inches. 9 inches. Basically, just cut out. This is the flip part. Remember the flip part, one side is bigger than, one side is more lengthy than the other, so I'll shorten this side. I have 9, I'll make this side 5 inches. Yes, I'll make it 6 inches. Let's do 5, I'll make it 5 inches. And I'll get the midpoints of my fillet. I'll get the midpoints. Now notch here. So here's my 5 inches. Now connect this. Connect this. This is what I have left. What it will look like. So I'll go ahead and fold this, join the down part, and bring it. So this is the down part. I'm going to take the measurements, the zip area, and the opening at the back. I'm not putting my own opening at the front. I just want the slit at the back. I've done that. I also went ahead, as discussed, I went ahead to, finish up the front. Yes, I've attached the fillet to the upper body. So this is the front. The next thing for me to do is to join the waist area. Just join these points, and the dress is ready. So that's the next thing. Next for me to join the waist area. Once I join the waist area, I'll go ahead and fix, cut the sleeve and fix my sleeve. I'll fix my sleeve, and you can see, then fix the zip. Once I'm done, fix the zip as well. Fix the zip, then I'll bring it back. Okay. So this is the dress. I'm going to join this together. This is the front parts. Once I fix my zip, here's how the zip look like. The finishing parts. So here's all we have. Next thing is I'm going to fix this, cut the sleeve and attach it, and also fold this down part. So yes, for the sleeve, I measured the length of my sleeve. Remember, my fabric is on fold. I used 24 inches for this part, and for the armhole side, I came down by 4 inches. I came down by 4 inches. Yeah, I was trying to adjust my fabric. I realized what I have there is too much, so I folded about 9 inches or 10. Yeah, 10 inches. I used 10 inches. Folded my fabric by 10 inches. Also, I connected the midpoint to meet the 4 inches I measured. So I was checking if the armhole is enough for me. Then for the round sleeve on the wrist side, I use 5 inches. Also, I went ahead to get the midpoint of my total sleeve, and on that area I took the measurement and mark also. For the allowance of the sleeve, I use 1.5. then I connect everything together and cut out. So here is where the tutorial of today will end. I guess this video has been impactful. At least you've learned 1 or 2 things. If you are yet to subscribe, just a reminder, please do it by subscribing. Thank you.